Uzbekistan is a landlocked country in Central Asia, bordered by Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Afghanistan, and Turkmenistan. Known for its rich history, the country is a cradle of ancient civilizations, particularly the Persian and Turkic empires. The region has been inhabited for thousands of years, with historical cities such as Samarkand, Bukhara, and Khiva once serving as key trading hubs along the Silk Road. Uzbekistan gained independence from the Soviet Union in 1991, and since then, the country has undergone significant transformation. It was initially led by President Islam Karimov, who ruled from 1991 until his death in 2016. Following Karimov's passing, his successor, Shavkat Mirziyoyev, took office and introduced various reforms aimed at liberalizing the economy, improving human rights, and modernizing the nation. The culture of Uzbekistan is deeply influenced by its history, featuring a blend of Turkic, Persian, and Russian elements. Uzbek cuisine is diverse and flavorful, with pilaf, plov, manti, dumplings, and kebab being staples of the national diet. The traditional Uzbek yurt and carpet weaving are also iconic representations of its rich cultural heritage. The people of Uzbekistan are primarily ethnic Uzbeks, with minorities of Tajiks, Kazakhs, Russians, and others. Uzbek is the official language, while Russian is also widely spoken, especially in urban areas. The economy of Uzbekistan is primarily based on agriculture, mining, and energy. The country is one of the world's largest producers of cotton and also has significant reserves of natural gas, gold, and uranium. The agricultural sector faces challenges, such as inefficient irrigation systems and over-reliance on cotton, but efforts are being made to diversify and modernize the industry. Uzbekistan is also investing heavily in infrastructure and industrial development to support growth in other sectors like manufacturing and services. Uzbekistan has been praised for its low cost of living, making it one of the cheapest countries in the world for expats and travelers. Accommodation, food, transportation, and entertainment are all relatively inexpensive compared to many other countries. A modest meal in a local restaurant can cost as little as $2 to $5, and renting an apartment in a city like Tashkent, the capital, can cost around $200 to $400 per month. Public transportation is very affordable, with bus and metro rides costing May cents. For those looking to travel around the country, transportation options like trains and shared taxis, marshrutkas, are affordable and accessible, though services can sometimes be unreliable. In terms of healthcare, Uzbekistan offers both public and private healthcare services. The quality of public healthcare varies, and many people in urban areas prefer to seek treatment in private clinics, where services are typically more reliable but also more expensive. The government has been working on improving healthcare infrastructure, but challenges remain, especially in rural regions. Education is free and compulsory up to the secondary level, and Uzbekistan has made significant strides in improving literacy and expanding access to higher education. The country is home to several universities and educational institutions, many of which are gaining recognition in Central Asia. The climate in Uzbekistan is continental, characterized by hot summers and cold winters. The weather can vary significantly depending on the region, with the desert areas experiencing extremely hot temperatures in summer, while the mountainous regions can be quite cold in the winter months. Uzbekistan is known for its vibrant cultural festivals and events, celebrating traditional music, dance, and arts. The country has a rich literary tradition, with poets like Eilish and Navoy being celebrated as national heroes. Festivals, such as the Nowruz, Persian New Year, celebrations, bring people together to celebrate the arrival of spring with music, dance, and traditional foods. The country is also becoming an increasingly popular tourist destination, with travelers drawn to its historical cities, UNESCO World Heritage Sites, and unique blend of ancient and modern culture. Despite its many challenges, Uzbekistan is a country on the rise, with a young and dynamic population eager to embrace modernization while holding on to their deep-rooted traditions. The nation's transition from a Soviet-style command economy to a more market-oriented system has been gradual but steady, and the potential for growth in various sectors is significant. Uzbekistan is also working to improve its relationships with neighboring countries, which had historically been tense, and has taken steps to foster regional cooperation and trade. While Uzbekistan is one of the least expensive countries in the world for everyday living, the government continues to address issues related to economic diversification, political freedoms, and human rights. The country is still overcoming the legacy of authoritarian rule and is slowly becoming more open to foreign investment, tourists, and new ideas. As such, Uzbekistan remains a fascinating place with a unique blend of tradition, history, and emerging opportunities. Uzbekistan is a country of great historical significance, with its past intricately tied to the Persian Empire, the Mongol Empire, and later the Soviet Union. Its strategic location, the crossroads of Central Asia, made it a vital hub for cultural exchanges, particularly through the Silk Road, where goods, ideas, and cultures from East and West converged. This exchange left profound imprint on the architecture, language, and art that are seen in Uzbekistan today. One of the most remarkable aspects of Uzbekistan's history is its cities, which were once at the heart of world trade and culture. Samarkand, Bukhara, and Khiva are among the most famous historical cities, and each is home to stunning architectural monuments that reflect the glory of past empires. The Registan Square in Samarkand, the Ark Fortress in Bukhara, and the ancient walled city of Khiva are UNESCO World Heritage Sites that attract thousands of tourists annually, eager to witness the intricate tile work, grand mosques, and sprawling caravanserais that tell stories of a once thriving empire. These cities have long been known for their remarkable architecture, such as the Samarkand Registan, which was once a bustling center for scholars, artisans, and traders. In recent years, Uzbekistan has been making concerted efforts to modernize its economy and infrastructure. President Shavkat Mirziyoyev's tenure has seen a number of reforms aimed at fostering economic growth and increasing foreign investment. The government has focused on privatizing many state-owned industries, improving the business climate, and cutting down on bureaucratic hurdles. As a result, Uzbekistan is slowly becoming a more open economy, attracting both foreign and local investments, especially in the areas of energy, mining, textiles, and manufacturing. Despite the shift toward a market economy, Uzbekistan remains a largely agrarian country. Cotton remains a critical export crop, though the government is trying to reduce its dependence on it by investing in diversification strategies. Fruits and vegetables such as grapes, melons, and tomatoes are also important, and the country has become known for its organic farming practices. This agricultural focus, coupled with the country's vast mineral resources, especially natural gas, gold, and uranium, makes Uzbekistan an important player in the regional economy. While the country is known for its low cost of living, it is important to note that there are challenges. One of the main issues is the economic inequality between urban and rural areas. Cities like Tashkent and Samarkand are home to a growing middle class, while many rural areas still struggle with poverty and underdevelopment. Despite efforts to promote economic growth in these regions, rural poverty remains a significant issue. Furthermore, the shift toward a market economy is still in its early stages, and unemployment and underemployment continue to affect a large portion of the population. Many people still rely on informal labor and agriculture for their livelihoods. Another challenge faced by the country is a lack of sufficient democratic governance and human rights issues. While there have been improvements under President Mirziyoyev, the country still has a long way to go in terms of political freedoms and open civic spaces. Press freedom and freedom of speech remain constrained, although the situation has gradually improved since the previous regime. The government is working on improving civil society and creating more room for political discourse, but this remains a delicate and slow-moving process. Uzbekistan's relations with neighboring countries have historically been tense, particularly with Turkmenistan and Tajikistan. However, recent years have seen a shift toward regional cooperation. Mirziyoyev's government has focused on improving diplomatic ties with these countries, signing agreements on water sharing, trade, and transportation infrastructure. This thawing of relations is seen as a positive sign for future stability in the region and for Uzbekistan's role in Central Asia. In terms of tourism, Uzbekistan is becoming an increasingly popular destination due to its combination of ancient history, cultural wealth, and affordability. The country's historical sites, such as the Silk Road cities and stunning Islamic architecture, are complemented by modern infrastructure developments that make travel more comfortable. Moreover, the Uzbek government is working to promote tourism as a key part of its economic strategy, with new hotels, airports, and roads being constructed to accommodate an influx of international visitors. Education is another area where the government has made strides. While access of education is free and compulsory up to the secondary level, Uzbekistan is investing in its higher education system to improve the quality of graduates and increase the number of students studying abroad. There is a growing emphasis on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, STEM education, to prepare the younger generation for the demands of modernizing economy. The country's youth demographic is a critical factor in its future. With a large proportion of the population under the age of 30, Uzbekistan has a dynamic workforce eager to embrace new technologies and innovations. However, youth unemployment remains a challenge, and many young people migrate abroad for better job opportunities, particularly to Russia and Kazakhstan. Uzbekistan's natural environment offers both beauty and challenges. The country is home to stunning landscapes, from the deserts of Kyzylkum to the mountains of the Tian Shan. While the country's natural beauty is impressive, environmental challenges, including the depletion of water resources and the environmental degradation of the Aral Sea, have led to growing concerns. The government is working on environmental reforms to combat these issues, focusing on sustainable water management and renewable energy sources. In conclusion, Uzbekistan is a country of deep historical significance and immense potential. With its rich culture, stunning landscapes, and dynamic youth, the country is poised for further development. While challenges remain, particularly in areas such as political reform, economic diversification, and rural poverty, the reforms being implemented in the country's low cost of living make it an attractive place to visit, invest, and do business. As Uzbekistan continues to evolve, it is likely to become a more prominent player in Central Asia and the world stage. Uzbekistan's continued development, both economically and socially, hinges on its ability to modernize while respecting its cultural heritage and addressing challenges such as political freedoms, human rights, and regional tensions. The country's leaders recognize that the path to progress lies not only in economic growth, but also in ensuring that the benefits of that growth are distributed more equitably across the population. By focusing on sustainable development, diversification of the economy, and improving governance, Uzbekistan aims to achieve long-term stability and prosperity. In terms of infrastructure, the country has made significant strides in recent years. The transport network has been expanding, with new highways and rail lines being built to connect the country's main cities and improve access to regional and international markets. The development of Tashkent's metro system has made public transportation more accessible to residents, and new international airports in cities like Samarkand and Bukhara are enhancing the country's connectivity with the rest of the world. This infrastructural development is expected to drive both tourism and commerce, opening up new opportunities for the population. Uzbekistan's energy sector is another area of focus. The country is rich in natural gas, with the government investing in both the extraction of resources and the development of infrastructure for renewable energy sources. The potential for solar and wind energy is considerable, especially given the country's vast open spaces and sunny climate. Uzbekistan is looking toward renewable energy as a way to reduce its dependence on fossil fuels while promoting environmentally friendly solutions. This push toward greener energy is in line with global trends and would help Uzbekistan meet its future energy needs in a sustainable manner. The social fabric of Uzbekistan is gradually evolving, with the younger generation increasingly pushing for change. Young people are gaining access to new technologies, educational opportunities, and international experiences, giving them a fresh perspective on their country's future. This generation is keen on establishing a more open and interconnected society while preserving the rich cultural identity that makes Uzbekistan unique. There is growing demand for more political openness, better governance, and greater participation in decision-making processes. The government's response to this emerging demand has been cautious but clear. Mirziyoyev's administration has been pushing forward with incremental political reforms, expanding personal freedoms, and opening spaces for greater public discourse. At the same time, Uzbekistan faces several challenges in its pursuit of democratization. The country still grapples with a legacy of heavy state control over civil society, limited press freedom, and political repression. While the government has made improvements, including easing restrictions on political opposition and releasing political prisoners, significant obstacles remain. Many observers note that real democratic change will require a broader opening of the political system and more comprehensive protection of fundamental freedoms. These are complex issues that will take time to address, and the political climate remains closely watched by both local and international communities. Uzbekistan's efforts to engage with a wider international Community have also been crucial in the country's evolution. The country has been focusing on improving ties with neighboring countries in Central Asia, such as Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Tajikistan, which were once fraught with tension due to historical territorial disputes and resource-sharing issues, particularly regarding water rights. However, Mirziyoyev's policies have focused on building regional cooperation. Agreements on water management, trade, and security have created a more stable regional environment. These positive diplomatic steps have brought Uzbekistan closer to its Central Asian neighbors and enhanced the country's diplomatic standing internationally. Moreover, the country's foreign relations with major powers such as Russia, China, and the United States have been strengthened in recent years. Uzbekistan maintains a careful balance in its foreign policy, forging economic and political partnerships with a variety of nations. This foreign engagement has brought in investments, and the country has begun to participate more actively in international organizations, further solidifying its role as an emerging player in Central Asia and beyond. Tourism has been a rising industry for Uzbekistan, with many international tourists flocking to the country's famed historical sites, such as Uzbekistan in Samarkand, the Ark Fortress in Bukhara, and the walled city of Khiva. These destinations provide a window into the country's vast cultural and historical significance. The government has made significant efforts to improve the tourism infrastructure, creating new hotels and transportation options to meet growing demand. Uzbekistan's rich Islamic architecture, its stunning desert landscapes, and its vibrant bazaars make it an increasingly popular destination for travelers from around the world. The government has recognized the importance of tourism as a driver of economic growth, and there are plans to further invest in the sector to make it more accessible to international tourists. The country's cultural identity is also a point of pride, with traditional Uzbek music, dance, and art being celebrated throughout the country. The government has supported the preservation of traditional crafts such as silk weaving, ceramics, and embroidery, which are integral to Uzbek heritage. Uzbekistan's long-standing literary tradition, exemplified by the works of poets such as Eilish Navoy and the ancient epic of Shahnameth, is also a symbol of the nation's cultural pride. National festivals like Nowruz, which marks the Persian New Year and the arrival of spring, bring the people together in celebration of their shared history and customs. These festivals showcase the nation's artistic expressions, ranging from classical music to folk dance, highlighting the country's cultural richness and diversity. The agricultural sector remains one of the cornerstones of the Uzbek economy. Despite the challenges of over-reliance on cotton, the government is diversifying the sector, encouraging the cultivation of a wider variety of crops, including fruits, vegetables, and grains. With the right investment in irrigation systems and modern farming techniques, Uzbekistan could become a leading exporter of agricultural products in Central Asia and beyond. In terms of gender equality, there is significant room for improvement in Uzbekistan. While women have made progress in fields like education and healthcare, societal norms and traditional gender roles often limit their participation in politics, business, and public life. The government has initiated reforms aimed at improving the status of women, including measures to reduce gender-based violence and discrimination, but progress is still slow. Empowering women and ensuring equal opportunities for all citizens will be key for Uzbekistan's sustainable development in the future. In summary, Uzbekistan is a country at a crossroads, balancing the preservation of its rich cultural history with the demands of modernity. The road ahead will be shaped by how effectively the country can address its internal challenges, particularly in political reform, economic diversification, and human rights. As the government continues to focus on infrastructure, education, and foreign investment, Uzbekistan holds great promise as a rising player in Central Asia. While challenges remain, the country's vibrant history, youthful population, and strategic location give it a unique advantage as it seeks to carve out a path to prosperity in the 21st century.